I mean, Higgy Bear's a great nickname, but Seiko's pretty cool.
That is
It's tough to beat. What are the other nicknames? We tried to come up with one for Trey McBride. We've been workshopping it for a little bit.
No. It is his nickname. We've coined it. It's called McBride's Maid. What do you think about that? Like, we're McBride's Maids to Trey.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it.
You don't like that.
Love hanging out here at Radio Row. You never know who you're going to run into. How about Arizona Cardinals tight end Bernhard Seikovits? He's out here having a good time. How's it going, my man? How are you enjoying your first stint in New Orleans?
Good, man. Trying to take it all in. First time at a Super Bowl or as a media person. So, yeah, taking it all in. It's a lot is going on. And, yeah, but I enjoy it and I like it here.
So off-season, a little bit of downtime, but the Cardinals coaching staff, it continues its, off-season facelift. And Clayton Adams, your position coach on the offensive line, is headed to Dallas to be the offensive coordinator. When you saw that news, what'd you think? What'd you make of it?
Yeah, I mean, I like Clayton. He's a great guy. He always jokes around, and he's just a good person to be around. And I can imagine also a really good O-line coach. So I'm really happy for him, and I'm excited to see what the new coach is about. And yeah, I'm just happy for him.
Now, when you came into this organization, it was a different head coach. You were playing underneath Cliff Kingsbury. And now you finished your second season under Jonathan Gannon. You signed a futures contract for your third. Mm-hmm. What's been the biggest differences that you've seen as far as just things changing, and how are things under JG?
I feel like under JG, people took it more to heart. I have not been here when Kingsbury was in his first and second year, so maybe it's a different comparison. But what I've seen change is once JG stepped in and he tried to establish his culture or his idea of a better culture, people really jumped on board, and it was easy. It was an easy change and not really growing pains or anything. Obviously, like as a team, you have to find together again with the new draft picks and everything. But yeah, as a culture, I feel like the change as a culture was pretty easy and smooth.
You're part of a robust tight end room. Yourself and Higgy Bear and, of course, Trey and Tip Ryman. It's all right. Gannon calls him Higgy Bear. I think I can call him that. All right, are there cliques in your tight end room? Like, give me if I came and sat in with you guys during a film
kick
session.
you out. They wouldn't let him in the room.
Tip Ryman might beat my ass. But if I came and sat with you guys, what would I experience in the tight end room? Like, who's the jokester? Who talks out of turn? Does any of that happen?
Well, I think without throwing anybody in front of the bus, but I feel like we were pretty tight-knit, and we had a dinner after the season, and one thing that everybody really was thankful for and grateful for is that we have each other, and the way we treat each other and the way we talk to each other, and just make going to work more fun. So I would say there's no cliques or anything. It's just one big clique, and yeah, we enjoy hanging around each other and making each other better, challenging each other too. So yeah, I enjoy going to work every day with those guys.
I mean, Higgy Bear's a great nickname, but Seiko's pretty cool.
That is
It's
cool.
tough to beat. What are the other nicknames? We tried to come up with one for Trey McBride. We've been workshopping it for a little bit.
No. It is his nickname. We've coined it. It's called McBride's Maid. What do you think about that? Like, we're McBride's Maids to Trey.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it.
You don't like that. As somebody who's getting married yourself, we don't need to talk about it. Bridesmaid. We can put that to bed.
No.
Sorry I interrupted you.
No, you talk about the dinner. We had Will Hernandez on the show yesterday. He's been doing the rounds here.
Yeah.
And we went back to the dinner that the old lineman had, and they pulled a little prank on the rookies. Poor Isaiah Adams and Christian Jones thought they had to pay the bill for $30,000. Did you guys have similar pranks at the tight end dinner?
Yeah, it's funny because they had their dinner a little earlier than we did. So once we had our dinner, we had the same idea, and we did the same thing to Tip, and it was like a 8,000 or 9,000 bill.
Yeah.
But he didn't really check it because there was one thing on there, just one single item for like 7,000 or 5,000 that just bumped up the whole price. So yeah, it was just all good fun, and he took it good.
Yeah.
You guys started off the season strong, 6-4, had a tough go post-bye. Like, what do you think the biggest thing needs to change or evolve over the course of a 17-game season where it looked like, Hey, the Cardinals are going to win the NFC West to just missing the playoffs by a game or two. What would you say if you could constitute anything?
Yeah, well, I feel like the good teams in the league always find a way to win. And as dumb as that is maybe sounding, but I feel like the change we had from last year to this year is exactly that we had some games where we won, even though it was a tight game. And I think if we can do a little bit better next year in those games again, then we're going to the playoffs. So I think we're on the right track. And as long as we keep improving as a team, I don't see why we shouldn't be winning and going to the playoffs.
You know, you've been here the entire time since Trey McBride walked through that door. What have you seen as far as the development, the maturation of your teammate?
Yeah, Trey's really, I'm really happy for him the way he was able to improve himself. He didn't have it easy at the beginning, and he also had some growing pains and made some rookie mistakes and everything, and nothing was handed to him, which makes it a lot more enjoyable. At least that's what I would think.
Yeah.
For him. So I'm just happy that he got his chance last year a little bit, and then this year just fully stepping into that role and making the best of it and never looking back.
You know, you're part of an offense that features the tight end at a high level. You know, Drew Petzing produces a top offense this year, yet, you know, locally in Arizona can sometimes be a polarizing figure given the fact that you have so many weapons offensively and the team wants to throw big explosives downfield, Marvin, Michael Wilson, et cetera. Like, how do you guys balance that? Where it's like, this is a tight end run heavy offense, but we're incorporating our playmakers as well.
Yeah, well, I think that's the same for a lot of offenses, but especially for us, we try to be unpredictable. We want to be able to throw the ball if we're out there with 3 tight ends. But we also want to run the ball, obviously, if you're out there with 3 tight ends. Same goes for 11 personnel when we only have 1 tight end out there. We want to be able to run the ball with Trey blocking, but we also obviously want to throw him the ball. So, yeah, I think that's always been a big emphasis from Drew, that we make everything look the same, if it's outside zone or if it's play action. So, yeah, I think that's a big emphasis he brought into our offense, or the identity maybe of his offense. And I think it's been working really well. James, just give him the ball, he'll make some yards, and then the play action off of that or the pass off of that, you see holes in defense because they are thinking about James running the ball.
What have you seen from your quarterback, Kyler Murray? I mean, you've been with him now quite a while. Have you seen change from him, from leadership qualities since head coach has changed? I mean, what have you seen from K1?
Yeah, I think from the point where we got JG and Drew Petzing new offense, I was really curious to see how he would change his game, or if he's able to change his game, because it's not an offense that he used to run in college or with Kingsbury.
More under center stuff.
Yeah, so I was really interested, and I don't think it's an easy thing to do because it's kind of an identity change for him as a quarterback as well. It's a different way of seeing the defense, different way of just running an offense, which is not an easy thing to do, especially in the NFL, where you just have to perform at your best if you play quarterback, especially. So yeah, I think he did a great job. You never heard a negative thing from him, and he was just always putting his head down, especially first year where JG was here. He was still fighting through his injury and everything, so that had to be really challenging mentally, but I think he did a really good job and is really leading this offense. And yeah, I mean, he does it in his own way. He's not a scream around guy, but at least for my part, I appreciate that, because whenever he opens the mouth, people listen, which is, I think, a critical thing for a quarterback or a leader in any team.
So, Seiko, you're not only here as a current player, you're here as a media member. Tell us about what's going on with your podcast.
Yeah, you know, I'm trying to experience everything, you know. And for 2 years now, we have this little podcast going on, Football O'Clock, for everybody who speaks German.
Subscribe to it.
Yeah, most of it is in German, unless we have Trey McBride or someone from the Cardinals on there, then it's in English. But yeah, we had that going on, and we just tried to see if we can come over here, because we thought it's a cool thing because there's not a lot of Austrian or German media over here, so we thought it would be cool to be over here and see if people would like it. And yeah, that's why we're here, and just trying to see how it is on the other side of the microphone.
Quick question, because we've talked about this. We always make plans for the upcoming season. There's rumblings the Cardinals could get an international game, and it could be in Germany next year.
I saw
How would you feel about it? Have you heard anything?
I mean, no, I have not heard anything. I probably will be the last guy to hear. But yeah,
We'll text you.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. I mean, the league is trying to involve Europe, and I mean, they're going to have a game in Australia, I think.
Ireland too, I believe.
Yeah, so they try to be everywhere and grow the game, and that's probably also a reason I'm over here, if we're honest. So, yeah, it'd be awesome to be over there. It'd be even greater to play in a game. So, yeah, I hope it happens. There's hopefully a couple Cardinals fans back home that would like to see that happen too.
Is there any like surreal moment, like when you first got to the States through the International Pathway Program, and you're in practice and you got a ball coming your way from Kyler Murray? Is it ever surreal? Do you ever have like a holy crap moment?
Maybe a funny story to that is my first year I came over here and everything was just a lot for me. I had to get Social Security, like all those organization things outside of football, but then also being on a team where you see people that you've watched on TV and everything. And I was never, I don't know, I would say starstruck or anything, but one example, James Conner walks in and I'm like, hey man, I had you on my fantasy. And looking back at it, it's really weird and like a fanboy kind of thing. But yeah, maybe that's one thing where I was like, oh, that's James Conner.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I don't know. I've always felt welcomed over here, and people made it easy for me to integrate me. I feel like obviously like the language and everything, I had to learn a little bit to be more me in a different language. But yeah. It was always just me learning how to communicate better in English, but it was never them not talking to me or anything. So, yeah.
We'll get you out of here on this. You played for Cliff Kingsbury your first 2 years in the league. What was it like watching him have success with the Commanders this year, albeit as the offensive coordinator? What can you say about your time with Cliff?
Yeah, I liked him a lot. I thought he was a player's coach, and he was always talking to everybody, no matter where you were on the roster. He was always trying to make sure that, I don't know, you're doing all right personally too, outside of football. But as a football coach, he's really energetic, and he's trying to show that love for the game that he has. And even though he's a coach, he's still competing, and he's like trying to beat the other coach, which is really interesting and fun to see as a player too, when you see the fire in the coach. So I don't know, I always like to play for Cliff, and it's always good to see someone do well. And you know, you're rooting for everybody. It's so hard to win in this league, and when you see someone you know win, it's just awesome. Yeah.
Let me sneak this one last in here, because you've been putting in the work day in and day out with this organization. Obviously, a lot of reps in the practice squad, a lot of long hours at the facility. What would it mean to get that active roster call to you?
I mean, it would mean the world. I mean, that's the reason I'm over here. I never played football. You know, back home, I never earned money growing up. So that was never on my horizon. That was never a goal of mine to earn money with the sport. It was always just how good can I be, or who can I beat, who can I line up in front. Back home, it was American imports. Can I beat this guy? But now it's, can I play in the league? Can I show that I can play? And from what I'm hearing and the feedback I'm getting is that I'm this close, and that there's a place for me somewhere in this league. And I'm just trying to, you know, make that happen. And it would mean the world. It would show that all this work is not wasted. And obviously it wouldn't either. Wouldn't matter if I play or not, but yeah, it would mean the world, and a dream would come true, and I think I can do it. So that's why I'm still over here and still working towards that goal. So yeah, only future will tell, I guess.
It's part of one of the most loaded position groups in the NFL. Bernhard Seikovits, thank you so much for your time today, my guy. We're rooting for you.
Thank you, guys.